Good afternoon, folks. In front of you is the Huawei M8, which has collected 80,000 confirmed pre-orders. That's as many as the gilevich.eng L9 sold throughout the entire year of 2024. Let's figure out why there is such a high demand for it. So they are asking for $3,000 more than the Li 9 Ultra. For this, they offer a 53 kilowatt-hour battery. They give slightly more horses for this than Li has. 1.5 turbo engine with 150 horsepower. All-wheel drive. 5.2 seconds acceleration. Double air suspension, double wishbone in the front, multi-link in the rear. In terms of feel, I think it's literally just a little bit quieter than the Li 9. You know what I like? I like that the seat can be adjusted a bit higher than the Li, but still not enough. But I would classify that as a plus compared to the gilevich.eng. There's a bit more lateral support here than in the Li 9. And I would even say, I like it this way. It's a golden mean, not too stiff. And that's how it should be. In terms of seating, it beats Li. For me, it's very important how strongly the car brakes with regeneration. I've become lazy. I want to brake immediately after releasing the gas. I don't want to keep pressing the brake pedal unnecessarily. Yes, the heel is under the brake just in case, but pressing it unnecessarily, well, in the year 2025, it's just laziness. And here the recuperation is about twice as strong as in gilevich.eng. Look at what's happening. I turned on the reverse and it immediately gives me a picture on the head-up display. Unbelievable. On camera, it is somehow some obscure color. In reality, it is clear and natural color. Li's camera is a little better than here by my eye. Look at this handle here. I just slip my fingers in, there's a sensor, and it opens slightly, and I just pull it towards me. You can, of course, simply open it automatically. If nothing works, it's physical too. Here it is. They've thought of everything from all sides. There's an automatic side step, wheels, 265 by 45/21 at the front. As you can see, the discs are ventilated and perforated. The rear wheels are bigger, 285 by 45/21 inches, and the brake discs are ventilated only. That's it. It is possible to extend the seat cushion, and as you see, it's very long here. The steering wheel is adjustable on the tablet. 4 fingers in front of the knee, perfect. First and second rows have massage ventilation heating. The third row only has heating. Right here where I'm pointing with my finger, everything is also upholstered with soft artificial leather. The screens, as you can see, are the same as in the M9. Everything is, in principle, practically identical. They left the thick frames. But with the dark theme, initially I didn't like these screens, but when I saw them with the dark theme, they actually looked quite nice. This car will compete with the Lynk & Co 09, Li 9, and Denso N9. It is in the same price segment as them. In my opinion, this car will sell better than its competitors. And during today's test, I will try to explain why I think so. There are 3 excellent screens, in terms of quality, image, speed of operation, and overall interface. This is the level of gilevich.eng, Tesla, and some other cars that have really taken a step forward in this direction. Lynk & Co 900 has pretty good screens, but lacks the richness of colors like here and in the Li. Denso is also lacking. That is, the screens here are at a higher level than those of other competitors. Let's not waste time on them. You already know everything perfectly well. This is the Huawei system. Everything is flying here. By the way, I recently reviewed exactly the same system. Shenlin Depal S09. It has the same Harmony OS, but it runs a bit slower there, while here it just flies at the speed of light, because it has a different chip. If I understand correctly, since I'm not strong in electronics, I think it's the processor. It's just more expensive here, that's all. I've already shown you the projector, super advanced. You can open a map like in Lee, and cameras broadcast there too. Overall, everything is really cool. The top of the door panels and the dashboard are microfiber. The material is pleasant to the touch. Slightly resembles Alcantara. There are 2 wireless chargers here, both with ventilation, covered with the same microfiber material. This piece, which looks like wood, is actually plastic. And wood is only an M9 and in stiletto. This is plastic, but it looks quite natural. There's some kind of niche here, 2 cup holders. Where's the fridge? No, there's no fridge here. There's a small compartment like in Lee. The steering wheel is Napa leather. The inside is faux. It's glossy plastic. The knobs are physical. Buttons are touch sensitive. All right, it's not bad. The steering column could have been made of smoother plastic, but it's not too rough. It's fine. In Lixiang, it's really nice. Okay, and I wanted to show you this. The touch button. I'm running through the menu here. It's the same here. The ceiling is covered with regular fabric. If you can see, I have a case here. It's cool. Made of Alcantara, by the way, for glasses. The mirror display shows the picture from the bumper. On the magnets with the light bulbs. This, as I understand it, is a touch-sensitive bulb. And there's a camera here. Look, to make it come out, I go into the menu. I press right here. And now it comes out. The glove compartment is covered with fabric. No password can be set. And here we have an ottoman, and it's wide, and this is how high it can be raised. There's no zero gravity here. Well, great. My feet are in a very comfortable position. They don't dangle and are right on it. For people with my height, it's great. However, it is not comfortable in all cars. I think in the Avatar, I didn't like it, if I'm not mistaken. Here it's really nice, and it's wide, but as I said, unfortunately there's no zero gravity. The screen is awesome, hope the camera will capture it. Double glass, the black part is microfiber. Here is Napa synthetic leather, and underneath is regular synthetic leather, but so stiffer, apparently to make it last longer, so it doesn't get worn out quickly by feet. 19 Huawei sound speakers. Inside, bare plastic. And here's a piece of plastic that looks like wood. The boss in this car sits in the back and has zero gravity. Who's the boss in the family car? Either the wife or the husband's mother. Well, I mean, for me, my mom would be the boss, okay? Maybe for some people, the mother-in-law is the boss. So be it. Okay, what does she get here? She can press this button here, and the following will happen. The ottoman just folds up, that's why it takes so long. Okay, good, got it. What am I doing now? I'm taking off my sneakers. Keep looking. I need to close the door, but the button's there, and I don't want to reach for it. I want it at arm's length. And they didn't give me a button here. I can't see it. I can reach, but I don't want to. I'll have to call the voice assistant.
小易，小易，我在。关闭我的车门。
正在关闭2排右侧车门。
You can do like this.
好了，谢谢，再见。
好的。
They gave me a shade, which is good. But it's needed here because there's a projector. It's absolutely essential here. The hook is here. I'll open the door to let in more light. Look, I'm pressing this button. And out comes the armrest. Is that so, right? Ventilation, heating, massage, and both of these settings at once. Now I'm pressing the maximum. Why are you folding it? Oh, I'm going inside. See, I'm going to the center. And now the ottoman is going up. As far as I can see, there is no button anywhere near me to return the front seat to its original position. And I don't want to reach over there, so we'll call assistant.
小易，小易，
在的。
恢复副驾座椅，
请注意周边乘客和物品安全。确定恢复吗？
确定。
副驾座椅正在恢复，请注意前后人员物品安全。
She asked me if I was sure it was safe. Table 1. Table 2. By the way, the material is not plastic. The same as here. That's cool. There's no zero gravity here and no ottoman. That's why there are just 3 buttons here: massage, ventilation, and heating. Chargers. And there's a button that adjusts the armrest. Look, the Li 9 has bare plastic here, but here it's nice faux leather. There's a small screen here. You can open the fridge, and you can open the projector screen. Now we close the all shades. I've already closed the side shades, and ideally, it should be really good. Or maybe not, and they saved money, because projectors can vary. I don't think it's like the one in the new restyled M9. I can already see it's not like that. Yes, it's not like that. In the restyled M9 that I showed you recently, it's just like a screen in there, just like a screen. It's dark enough here too, as you can see, but it's not as clear. Measuring the 3rd row, I'm sitting comfortably, 4 fingers, moving to the 2nd row. Look. I take a fist here, and I go to the 3rd row. And here I fit, 4 fingers in front of the knee. There's no bare plastic here. There's fabric on top, and some cool leatherette right here. Somebody's napkins. Understood. There's heating, there's charging, there's a light, there's air, there's a speaker. And I can recline the seat. The 3rd row in the Denza N9 was more stylish. In the Lynk & Co N90, the seats could even rotate. Here, it's at the level of the Li 9. Slightly more expensive material, see? I think gilevich.eng had plastic here. Yeah, that's right, Li 9 has plastic here. Well, if I were traveling far, this place would be fine for me. Look, 3 people my height can comfortably sit one behind the other. And now I've leaned back far enough to be comfortable for a long drive. Let's see how much space is in the trunk. There's not much room. You can fit a couple of small suitcases, but it's a tight squeeze. Oh, that's nice, wouldn't you agree? Here I can lower the suspension and I can fold the seat. The taillights. See the picture? There's all kinds of pictures. You can have all sorts of kitties. It's a city. I think it's Shenzhen or Shanghai. There's different cities you can choose from. I think you can set a regular light if you want. This is a family car. The kids also ride in it and they like all these fun features. That's why the manufacturer makes them. It sells. The back of the 1st and 2nd rows is entirely faux leather. The bottom is also faux leather. As far as I understand, there's almost no plastic here. The thresholds are plastic. Some parts over there, like the edges of something, are also plastic. And here, at the very bottom of the seats. But other than that, it's not there anymore. Everything is completely covered, even in the 3rd row. Yes, everywhere is faux leather. Nice. So, what do we have? In terms of the power unit, Denza and Lynk & Co are significantly more interesting. They have a more powerful internal combustion engine, more overall horsepower, and faster acceleration. However, the majority of drivers spend most of their time driving in cities and only hit the highway about 5 times a year. Therefore, the perks for the city that the M8 has will likely sell better than cars with a more powerful powertrain, but without these perks. Because we are reviewing a family car, not a sports car. What kind of perks are we talking about? 1. M8 has the best autopilot. 2. In addition to the huge theater in the back of the front seats, you can put in tablets as well. If you want, you can use the tablets, and also if you want, you can turn on the movie theater. The smartphone screen can be connected to the central screen. 4th, the projector here is AR, and it's more advanced. 5th, the voice assistant is more accurate. 6th, the battery is 53 kilowatt hours, and the range on a single charge is as much as 310 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. This is more than all competitors. because the electric motors are better and the software is superior. Don't even doubt that in terms of cost, it's worth no less than an additional 100 horsepower to the internal combustion engine and an extra 300 horsepower to the electric motors. Moreover, the car weighs less, which means the battery goes further and the consumption is at least 2 liters less. In general, I think that for everyday driving in cities, a more advanced smart cabin and autopilot will sell better. But for those who live in the harsh parts of our planet and want to accelerate faster than the dominant majority of German cars in the traffic stream, the Denza and Lynk & Co. will be preferable. However, there is one thing that simply has to be in a city car in 2025. It's rear-wheel steering, which unfortunately isn't here. But Denza and Lynk & Co. have it. All right, we've sorted out the features, now let's speak about how it drives. Just like the Li 9. These are similar cars in terms of suspension tuning, very smooth even in sport mode. The suspension performs well, quieter than in the Li 9. As for the city, it steers well, but worse than the Denza and better than the Lynk & Co. At speeds over 130, it will likely handle worse than German cars. It accelerates from 0 to 100 in 5.2 seconds. Like the Li 9, it's more than enough for the city. On the highway, it might be a bit lacking for the year 25. However, the steering wheel feels empty again, not dense. gilevich.eng doesn't have this problem. In sport mode, the steering of the Li 9 gives you good feedback with the wheels, but here it's too soft. It's impossible to tighten it properly. This is where they saved money. By the way, Denza N9 have the same problem. Moving on. You can also order a simple 2-row version with a sofa. For some, it will be more appealing. Anyway, their new restyled AITO M9 has become even cooler and has moved into a completely different price segment. The top-of-the-line M9 is now $27,000 more expensive than this car, and with Li 9, Denza and Lynk & Co., the price difference is even greater, about $30,000. But the M8, they just released to fight in this segment. All right, friends, that's all for now. Thank you to everyone who watched until the end. If you liked it, you know what to do. Follow our Facebook. There's more interesting content there. I'm saying goodbye to you. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Until we meet again.